we talk about what we were just talking about. We said we can save you so much money from other companies, you can pay for your branding. And branding is the difference between making money and not making money. I would love to sit here with the slide and put the McDonald's arches and the Chevron thing and the Burger King, branding like that, right? Mm-hmm. Big money in branding. Hundreds and hundreds of $millions a month people spend on branding. And there's a very good reason for it, right? We talked in our class last week, how many times does somebody have to see your name before they remember it?
7.
Okay. What have you done in the last 30 days to be in front of people 7 times? Right?
A golf tournament.
So that's what you have to think of. So if you saw the same people at a golf tournament, at this, at that, at this, at that, or mailed to them, that's a lot of times before somebody sees your name. There's a little event I went to the other day, and what are we supposed to keep that thing on the down low that your mom sent out the email about? All right. So anyway, we won a very prestigious award the other day, and. So I was at an event and the lady says, "Hey, I voted for you," and I don't know her. And I said, "Why?" She goes, "You were the only name I knew on the list." Pretty big branding, right?
Yeah.
Cool, I'll take it, right? So I think that's how things have gone for a long time. So I have 2 presentations for you today. There's just kind of going over the brands that we've created and how and why and the theory behind them. And then if we have more time, I want to get into a different presentation that I did at BSM last year with Club Wealth. And I want to get into more intense, heavy branding and kind of put it all in a package together for you guys. There's no reason why every single person in this room couldn't have a huge brand behind them. And you have to open up your mind and say, although I'm a real estate team or a real estate salesperson, there's no reason why you couldn't have a huge brand behind you, at least locally in this town. We don't care if we have a huge brand in New Jersey, right? We're not working there. But you want to enforce your brand here. So I want to get going. Why brand? We want to stand out. Be conforming with our branding. We always want to do that. We want to buy brain cells, and that's what we were talking about. We just want people to go, "Oh, Team Bjorkman, HomeSmart, Team Bjorkman, HomeSmart," and they don't know why they know. They just know because we've bought their brain cells. Every time you spend money, just picture yourself as buying brains, and that's the real way to think about it because it's not wasting money. Build trust. This is a really interesting one. So my entire career, I've gone up against very powerful, experienced listing agents. But when I got there, they knew my name so well, they already trusted me more than who I was going after. That's scary, right? Here I am, I've sold 20 houses, and the person I'm going up against has sold hundreds. They're obviously a way better choice as far as experience goes. Not when it comes to marketing and branding, but when it comes to experience. So I look back at those times and I go, holy moly, that is like so powerful. Like, I just smoked this guy out of the water that's been in the business forever. Cool, let's do more branding, right? Create and maintain relationships. And this is what I was talking about, especially with social media today, right? Social media, we have a huge brand. And we want to meet somebody at an event, but we want to keep buying their brain cells and keep branding to them through social media. And it just carries on to where, you see somebody on the street and there's always a hug instead of a handshake. And that's what I tell our team. We want to meet people and say, "Oh my God, it's so nice to finally meet you." Not, "Hi, I'm Mike Bjorkman," because we kind of get to know each other and they get to know the brand. So we'll start with Team Bjorkman, 1995. For those of you that don't know, I got in the business around 1990, 1991, right in the beginning there. And I started growing a team, and I started going to seminars all over the country, and I noticed that people were starting to build teams. So I said, well, I want a team, right? And I had no team. Bleecker was my only team member at the time, right? And my escrow officer. And that was my team, for reals. So I started doing little cute branding things like, "Oh, Team Bjorkman, a household name," right? And then everything I touch turns to sold. All those corny things. But what happened was people started copying me right away. I'd put it on a postcard and then somebody down the street would put it on the postcard. I'm like, come on, we can't both everything we touch turns to sold. So my ego got in the way of that, so I said, all right, go ahead, copy Team Bjorkman. Right? Perfect. So that's kind of that's kind of how that worked. So there's a huge evolution of our teams and our Team Bjorkman and how it worked. But I wanted that team to make me look bigger. But as individual agents, do we honestly have teams? We do. We have Bleecker, we have Skyline, we have Escrow, we have home inspectors, we have termite. And we could actually put them all in that picture there and say, Team Smith, right? Does the public know? Is it your team still?
Yes.
Are you lying? No. Are you being deceiving? Are you deceiving anybody? No, it's your freaking team. Be proud of it. So I'm not saying everybody needs to call themselves team something, but I'm just talking about branding and why I did it. I'm just giving you a real story of my life. I was able to promote my assistants. At the time, teams were very new. Nobody had a team. And if they had a team, they didn't say they had a team. You can think of some big agents around here that have a big team, but they never advertise their team. So I was under the different impression where I want to kind of promote my assistants. I want them to be known through town too. I've learned a lot of very hard lessons with that, good and bad. But that was just my thought back in the 90s. I wanted to build trust. Did we already say that? It's weird. Yeah. And I wanted to rise to the top. It was always my dream to be one of the top agents in this valley. And I truly believe if I could keep my fingers out of 14 other companies, I'd be the #1 agent out here consistently forever. But since we just do that, it is what it is. So the bottom right-hand corner was my very first logo. It lasted all the way until we started HomeSmart. So that consistency was there. Every time somebody saw it, it was just click, click. They just knew the name right away. And it was just perfect. If I ask anybody or if I introduce myself to somebody, they're like, that sounds really familiar. Like just yesterday, or day before I dropped off my truck to get an oil change at GMC. And the girl's like, oh, hey, Mike, how are you? And she's like, this is the first time your car's in here? I go, yeah. And she goes, man, I feel like I know you. I'm like, that's really cool, right? It could have been a customer service trick on her part, which really worked. but I'm trying to believe that that's what happened with branding. Okay. So SCV Leasing was well, let's put it this way. So back up a second. So Team Bjorkman was very successful, right? We had a brand that everybody in town knew. So in 2007, it was time to start property management. For those of you that don't know, in 2007, the market started getting pretty bad out here. And I needed some sort of income to diversify because we weren't selling houses anymore. Just so you know, 2006, 2007 feels exactly like today, okay? So SCV Leasing, the clients would come up to me and say, Mike, I don't want to sell my house. I don't want to give my house away. Will you babysit it? Sure, why not? Throw it in the corner, we'll try to figure this out, and I guess it's working fine, then another, then another, then another. So we got up to like 10 properties. I'm all, well, there we go, here's a new company, right? So I was sitting in Baja Fresh one day, thinking of this company, and the font on that sign is the Baja Fresh font, right? I couldn't think of anything, I couldn't think of a logo, so I just said, let's try that. Even the black thing underneath that says like when Mexican cuisine or whatever, that is actually the exact Baja Fresh logo. And I never told anybody that until I rebranded. So we'll talk a little bit about that. So I knew that Team Bjorkman was a successful brand, so I had to do the same thing with SCV Leasing. Now, I didn't have a lot of time. I was really getting into short sales and trying to hustle and trying to do whatever I could to make a buck because my wife has very expensive taste, and it was like, dude, we got to do something. So in the first year, because of the branding, we got 100 homes. Now, just so you know, national statistics are like 30 to 40 homes a year is what we did. But with the branding, it worked really well. I wanted quick domination, obviously, so I did everything. I duplicated everything I did for Team Bjorkman for SCV Leasing. Right away, it was working. I was like, oh man, this branding thing is everything in the world. The downside with SCV Leasing was, since I worked at Remax at the time, they wouldn't let me do property management there. Right? Just like here, by the way. And I was like, now what do I do? So the owner at the time said, you have to start a separate company under your broker's license. And this is the reason I got my broker's license at the time. So the downside was I was branding 2 companies now. To this, to that. Everything was separate. And to this day, I'm still paying the price for that, right? And then in 2012, 5 years later, the Baja Fresh thing, my business partner that I brought in, my brother-in-law, is like, dude, I can't handle your Baja Fresh logo anymore. We are the largest, or second largest company out here. We're very professional. We need to put that out there. So that top logo is what we came up with. It was basically just boring, like an attorney, whatever. But it worked. So I had to rebrand the whole thing again, it felt like, right? At least the name was the same. So I had to rebrand that. So I knew it was working. And in 2014, we did over 1,500 real estate transactions with rental property, which is a lot. So, and it's not to brag, it's to say, look, branding works because you can't create a company of that magnitude that quick unless you have branding. And I just firmly believe that. The staff was awesome. The marketing was great, but the marketing is also branding. Let's just put it this way. I 100% believe it's because of the brand. Any questions about that? Yeah.
So you obviously you had SCVleasing.com and all that what you're showing there.
Mm-hmm.
What else did you do to brand yourself? I mean, did you market yourself with flyers or?
Yep, we're gonna get into all that. We have all that stuff here to show you, and we're gonna go through it. So I believe we were the most trusted name in SCV Leasing. SCV Leasing was the most trusted name in Santa Clarita, and with branding comes trust. And I was like, whoa, this is really cool. Fast forward, here comes HomeSmart, right? 2012. It was not that long ago. So I'm like, holy crap, not a person in the entire Santa Clarita Valley had ever heard of HomeSmart. When I first launched that logo, people would call me and say, hey, I kind of like the logo you invented. I'm like, no, this is the third largest company in the nation, people. And nobody knew. They thought I invented this, and it was my brokerage, and it was mine. It wasn't. I bought into a franchise, like all the others, right? So that was 2012. Again, I needed quick domination. Didn't have time to mess with it. I'm running SCV Leasing. I'm still trying to sell houses with my team. Here we go. Let's duplicate our efforts again. If it worked twice, it has to work 3 times, right?
Yes.
Sure enough. Mm-hmm. So I did the shock and awe. I must have spent 30, 40 grand the very first month. Everybody in this town got dropped on a few times. It was just like, bam. It was like, whoa, where did you come from, Mike? And I was like, that's it, just shock and awe. I mean, that's it. With the help of the team, of course. National recognition we didn't get until much later, till kind of now. You know, some of you might have traveled and seen signs out of state, maybe gone south to Orange County, seen signs. A lot of people have been to Phoenix and seen signs. But I didn't have the help of national recognition. It's kind of weird. You think the franchise would pay you to start one, right? Hey, build our name. But it's totally the opposite. They're like, hey, give us a big fat check and we'll let you use our name. I'm like, whatever. But the tools and technology and the model were so good that I was willing to do that. And I hope you guys all believe that. Within 2 years, I believe we were accepted and recognized in this town as a heavy hitter comparable to all the other brands. Now you got to remember, RE/MAX started in the 80s. Realty Executive started in the 80s. We started in 2012. Even Keller Williams was 20 years before that. So I believe in 2014, based on what I know about marketing, we were on a level playing field as far as the public's eye. And I thought that was a really great accomplishment. And I think that's how we grew to the same size as all those companies right now. We have, what, 250 agents? They all have the same amount. So we did pretty good, right? So I think branding, again, worked without the help of a national franchise behind us. Any questions about that? No? All right. Expansion. This is an old presentation, so we're like, this was when we were going to start expanding to Northridge. Anybody remember that? So now California leasing happened. Jesus, criminy, how many companies do I have to brand in 10 years, right? This is the one I think we're the most proud of as far as right now recognition. So for those of you that don't know, our company SCV Leasing merged with Rentwith Classic. We both agreed. Well, we had business partners that we had to buy out, and both business partners had the name for other reasons, and it just wouldn't work out. So we had to start from scratch, which is from 2007 till now, till 2016, and then they had years on me. They started Classic like 10 years before that. So we were both devastated. We're like, all that money and the hard work and effort down the drain. And I said, you know what, John? We can do this. I've done it before. Let's do it again. Again, quick domination. You see I get emotional. Shock and awe again. Help of the team again. The downside, same crapping thing. Have to keep branding 2 different companies. But that's okay. 2017, 1 year later, we're still the #1 company. We're most widely recognized, most trusted, busiest company in this town, period, bar none. Nobody can say anything about that. So 1 year. Do you believe if I create a brand in 1 year, you can too?
Yes.
And guess what? You're going to learn everything today what I did. Sweet, right?
Yes.
Okay. We got it down to a science, so that's what I like to talk about. So real quick, let me put my chingaderas on and get back over to the other one. What? Where is that hitting thing? Hello. What? Whatever word I say is a word. I'm the broker.
It's Chico
Call it what you want.
Just be the dictionary. Perfect. Very good then.
Or whatchamacallit. It's like whatchamacallit.
It's kind of like whatchamacallit with that.
Calls a candy bar.
All right.
They made it a candy bar.
So by show of hands, who's going to Club Wealth BSM this year? About half of us. Good. It's life-changing if you use it the right way. So last year, Tammy and I were lucky enough to present this exact presentation. I didn't change it, right? You know me, this morning, going, oh God, what am I going to talk about today? I might as well pull this up, it's already done. So you guys know I'm not necessarily a coach with Club Wealth, I'm a contributor. Basically what that means is I coach the coaches. I'm very much involved behind the scenes with Club Wealth, not in the public eye because I don't want to be a coach. I'm already coaching you guys. That's a lot of coaching clients, right? So I don't need any more. So this is the exact same presentation, and I'll use the exact words I did last year. This is going to sound like I'm loving myself. Like all I'm trying to do is make you think I am that bitchin'. All I'm trying to do is show you what I've done in the past that you can do too, or make better, duplicate, start somewhere, pick and choose what you want. But this is the track that I've used over 26 years to create the brands I'm talking about. So perception is everything. We know that. How many of you thought I was a complete idiot before you met me? Right? As hard as I try to be a nice guy, there's perception out there. So a lot of people go, oh, Mike's just a jerk. Bigger's always better. Right? It doesn't matter what you do. If you do it, go all out. We talk a lot about that in these classes. You can't just go be an expired agent unless you go big. You must be super confident. There's lots of training for you guys to be confident. There's books, there's videos, there's events. You know, you walk on fire with Tony Robbins. There's all these cool things you can do to build confidence. Always go to the top. When I say always go to the top, that clearly means deal with the owners, the managers. Go to the top of everything you can. Be at the top of everything. Always look down. Don't ever look up at somebody else. Look down and say, look, this is where I want to be on top. It takes a lot of money to make a lot of money, you guys, right? So we spend about 20% of our income on marketing. That's a lot of money. So think about every $10,000 check you make, you drop $2,000 into marketing. That's okay. So in my mind, marketing is more charitable than anything else. So our numbers are a little higher, and most of that does go to charity here locally and internationally. Social media, I want you guys to think everything we talk about social media. Print is still awesome, get it in front of people, and video is huge for getting seen. Julie and I did an unbelievable podcast 2 days ago with Mike Cuevas. Most of you know him. We had a very down-to-earth talk about video, the philosophy behind it, how it's worked for us in the past, and why we think it'll continue to work. It'll be launched next week. I'll send it out. Julie will post it and everything. Make sure you guys listen to it. We can't get into everything here. Apparently I opened up a weird thing. See this little picture on the right that's supposed to be moved over a little bit? That was one of my very first marketing pieces I did. In that picture I was 19 years old. With my little Remax pen, so I was at Universal Studios and they had this little thing where they morphed you in. At the time, there was no such thing as Photoshop. It was like the most technologically advanced thing in the world. And I used to put that on marketing and people would be like, whoa, where did you go to Chile and freaking go to the soccer game and do that? And people were tripping back in the early 90s. So I like to talk about that. It's still like in my office at home today. Charity is a win-win, right? Charity is so good. It makes you feel good. You roll your sleeves up. You get dirty with everybody. But charity is also something that puts you in the media, right? It's almost impossible to do something good where somebody doesn't say, let me take a picture and put that in a magazine, put that on TV, put that somewhere. So anytime you can get involved in it, do it. It's really good. Like tonight, we're getting super involved in the AG wine thing. We're going as big as we possibly can because we want to be bigger and better. And I think Jean might agree that we've showed up and blown up for the last few years thanks to Julie. She pops up, hi.
This is my favorite event.
Yeah.
For tonight.
So Julie loves that stuff, but it's the same thing we do with charity. We always show up and blow up. So there's just tons of opportunities. you know, you see in the leopard print suit when we were chairing the Boys and Girls Club auction. It's just such a big deal to not just be in the audience, but try to get yourself on stage. Try to get you involved enough to where people go, who is that freaking guy in leopard print on the stage? That's what you want them to do, right? You got to be kind of expressive, and it's a trait you have to learn. It doesn't come naturally to a lot of people. You can look around and see who the expressives are in red and purple and things like that. So again, more and more charity. This is me chairing the 40 under 40 and all these other things Tammy and I do. Oh, we were in that. Take total control. That's a really good way to put it. When we're part of a committee, I take complete control. Like, you guys probably know what my wife does, the Boys and Girls Club and everything, and she just took total control over the last couple of years. She just got initiated as the CEO of the Boys and Girls Club out here. It's just big, fast, dominate. Think things that, what can you do to really make a difference and stand out in people's minds? How many of these a week do we go to?
2.
Never forget that. If you go to 1 a month, you're not going to be known in this town. You're not going to create a celebrity brand with people. They will go, oh, I think I've seen her before somewhere. But if you go to 2 events a week and really get in front of people, they know you. You walk into a room and they go, oh, there's Mike. I was wondering if he was going to show up, you know. And if you do 2 a week, you're always going to have sales. I promise to God. It's so easy. It's the best, most fun prospecting there is to do. It's exhausting sometimes. You work all day, 12-hour day, and now you have to go to a chamber mixer. You're like, oh, shoot me now. But you just got to like gear up, pound a Red Bull, and go. You know, because it makes a difference. I mean, think about the last couple of events you had a chance to go to, and you just are, I'm too tired to go. I'll go to the next one. Have you ever felt like that? I can think of countless times where I've actually gone to the event, dragging butt, or my wife dragging me, and I actually got a sale that night. I go, dude, I almost didn't come here. It happens all the time. So every time you think, I'm a little too tired or lazy, or I'd rather watch, you know, one of the new shows that are out. There's a lot of cool new shows out, right? So it's like, just do it. It makes a big difference. Speaking creates authority. It really does. My entire career, I've tried to be on stage somewhere, somehow, some way, depending on the situation. I'll tell you a really good story. That top left story, the city did a rental safety meeting, and there was like 100 townspeople with pitchforks that came up, and they were all wanting, you know, we don't like rentals and da-da-da. So they invited all the property management companies in town to come. And I'm like, all of them? And he's like, yeah, we got, you know, Screm's coming, Classic is coming. I don't think there was too many little ones at the time. But I said, no, I want to do something different. I want to do something better. I want to speak. I want to give my top 10 most important safety tips. I want to give out the book we wrote. And I have things that I can give the community to help. Scott and I are like, oh crap, we got to write little books right now. We just hammered away for a few days, went to Kinko's, got them printed, brought big boxes in. And they're like, cool, since you're doing that, you're going to be an authority figure. So they put us up front on the side, kind of like right here, where they're speaking and everything. And the freaking mayor and council people keep referring to me, and they're just, come up here, Mike, and tell us. And I'm looking from the you know, the council chamber thing up there, and I'm looking down at the Screm dudes, and at the time Rent with Classy just going, and it was cool. So afterwards, just kidding. Afterwards, so we got to come down afterwards, and there was a line of people to come get our stuff. It was so awesome to watch our competitors just sit there and go. And that happens with everything we do. There's me speaking with our dog, right? If you guys remember that, I put her up here and I brought her in for a class like this, but that made social media waves like you could not imagine. People don't know what I'm speaking about. I'm up here just talking about crap, right? Just real estate agent stuff. Because they think I'm like the president with a dog, you know? I try to there's me at REO conferences, speaking at the, where are we at? Palm Springs in that one. This is Rio Mac in Dallas. And then it was very important for me to get on bigger stages, so I got on stage at Family Reunion, at Mega Camp with Keller Williams, and then the end all was the NAR in Car, speaking on those stages. And that gives you national recognition, statewide recognition, because at the time I had several other businesses that relied on me being branded, not just in this town anymore, so I had to create a brand for myself nationally. So that's why I got on every single stage in every single state I could. During a recession, still trying to sell houses and build SUV leasing and but what I did know is every time somebody would post something for me in Salt Lake or Miami or New York, whatever, it would create like, what's he doing? It would just reinforce a brand of authority. People are like, God, he knows everything. He knows everybody. Yes, that's who I want to sell my house. So they would call me, and I'd say, what's up? Why are you calling me? And they're like, oh, you're just everywhere, and it seems like you really know what you're doing. Sure do. Sign here. So it really reinforces a brand, and that's what you guys got to consider. I mean, maybe just sitting there watching, it looks like I'm doing a lot of cool stuff, right? I'm trying to make everybody have the, remember at the beginning, perception's everything?
Yes.
So the more I can do this, the better. Now you probably guys have noticed, and for those of you that know me, I've slowed way down in the last year or so, because now I don't necessarily need to be nationally known. I just need to be known here now. That's all I really care about. So you're not going to see me on a plane every week like I used to be. And besides, remember what Mom said, you go on a plane again, we're getting divorced. So you getting the idea with this? So every time you're invited to do something, say, I'd like to say a few words. I'd like to introduce the governor. I'd like to stick your neck out a little bit, say you have authority, say you have a reason to do it, and be bold and say, I want to be a part of this. I don't want to just be a spectator. It's so cool when you have the little purple thing that says speaker instead of just a normal thing. People come up to, oh, what are you talking about? Da, 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 da. You know, people see you at their bar and they start talking to you, and it's kind of neat, you know? And then they invite you on their stage, and it just kind of creates a thing. All right, so let's talk about branding locally. It's quite obvious there. We have pretty much everything we do has to be branded. You can ask my team. I always yell at them for not wearing name tags. No name tags. Oh, I swear it's in the car. We put it on as soon as we leave. But branding's everything, right? I mean, I'm always doing some sort of branding. I'll give you, Katie, can you help me?
Yeah.
Come on up here. So Katie is obviously sales at California Leasing. Her job is to implement our branding. So what I wanted to point out is we just did the same thing we learned with SCV Leasing and duplicated it with California Leasing. Show off all your pretty stuff up there.
Yeah.
Okay. Bags. Buck each, right? Is Jen in the room? Skyline, Jen? No? All right, so Jen at Skyline, we have lots of people that can get you all this stuff. These things are $1 a piece. You can get them on sale a lot of times if you watch your email. People love those things. These things I give out at all the golf tournaments, all the charity events, all the Serato, just everything. Everybody gets these bags, and they get our junk in them.
Yep.
People really appreciate those, and all the time I see them at grocery stores. I see them at Walmart. Koozies are my favorite. Boaters, barbecuers. These are real neoprene. If you're going to do it, get the real neoprene ones. They matter. Hold on. We go golf. We use these. Put them on all the carts. 8:39 tomorrow morning. Can you go?
8:39.
That's our tea time. So koozies, you want to use those?
Yeah, well, for us it does.
Lanyards we do everything with, right? We put pool keys on them. We put normal house keys on them. The kids eat these up. I don't know, Andy, you love lanyards, right? Why do you love lanyards?
I don't know.
They're
Me
on
and my
everything
brother,
he
we have
owns.
them everywhere.
Since he was like
That's
12, lanyards are on everything he owns. So I love these things. They never get thrown away. And I try to do things that don't get thrown away, right? These little things, people beg for them all the time. We give them out to everything. It doesn't matter. If we have a key, it goes on here. I take a Sharpie, I write on the back what it is. Eventually the Sharpie rubs off and you get a nice little keychain. These things are like 20 cents. I don't even know if they're that much. If you order them by the thousands, they're so cheap, it's ridiculous. But you see what I'm trying to do? Get enough of our garb out there to where everywhere you're going, you're starting to see stuff. Our handwritten thank you cards, they're just generic cards, you know? It's a brand, right? They're gonna get this. You can go to Kinko's or Staples or whatever and buy the just pretty ones with a little doggy on them. But I think you should brand what you're gonna do. I really do. You guys know why I love these, right?
Oh, yeah.
Half of you do. So these are our #1 listing getter I've ever used in my entire career. We take these. We have an example of that.
Does that have a magnet on it?
No, you can put all that junk on it you want. The bag, in the bag. I don't know where. Okay, so we put them in poly bags, right? We put our just listed, we put our marketing, we put anything we want in here. And these are what, for my entire career, we chuck out the windows. Little bit bigger things like this, I like. This is what we did for the Wine Fest 2 years ago. And then I keep reordering them because they're kind of cool. They got little things, right? Don't know.
So you don't trip.
Use your imagination. Things. It's kind of cool, right? So I always talk to you guys about.
Is that the kit for after the wine?
Yeah, exactly. So these are cool. Mr. and Mrs. Smith, thank you so much for having me over. Before we get started, I just wanted to give you a little gift and thank you for spending your time with me tonight. Like, oh, that's so cool. What is it? Oh, honey, look. Let's list with Mike. What else do we have? The Team Bjorkman bags. What else is in here? There's all kinds of stuff we've done over the past. Now, my absolute favorite #1 thing. Well, I'll keep showing you some of the HomeSmart things. You know, like the thumb drives, which you guys all should have. People love these things. They don't throw them away. Real estate agents, like here's an ERA keychain. These are little things you can use. They're still $1 a piece. Little flashlights. I don't know if they even works after a couple of years, but they all have the logos on them. I mean, if somebody gave this to you, where's it going? Your drawer, your glove compartment. Is it going in the trash? No. Ooh. So some people say, I'm going to do a little bag of M&Ms and staple my business card to it. Cool. Some $1. This is safe. So every time you talk to your marketing person, your supply person, say, what do people not throw away? Even better, say, what in the world is on sale, right? So you'll be amazed at how cheap you guys can get things. Remember these? We used to play with these little things. Some title company. All right, these things are cool too. These are kind of cool that people won't throw away. I personally won't use a notepad, but people still like them. They got a little pen. These things are $1, and you can pass these out at whatever, you know, your churches and all that junk. You guys getting the idea?
Yes.
Okay. So let me go through, which is, for me, the very most important. Clothing. This is our jackets. Right? Andy, how many of our friends own these?
Almost all of them.
Almost all of them, and they wear them everywhere. So I go to Sam's Club. These things are like $20. They're perfect. They're nice, not too hot, not too warm. Yeah. So I take them to the embroidery, like $30, and I get them made. Christmas time, I'm the dude passing out all the jackets. Every year they're like, hey, where's the new jackets? Where's the new jackets? This is something that we use everywhere. All of our charity events, we have the HomeSmart. We go to, what's his name, Joe at on Lyons Avenue? Daily Imprints. You just buy these on Amazon. They're like $10 and you have them go stamp them. Put your logo on there and use the heck out of them. That one's probably pretty dirty and nasty.
That was a tablecloth, right, Mike?
Yeah.
Yeah, but my new tablecloth.
These are the little Dickies jackets. People love these things. Do you know where T's Plus is on Lyons? They're dirt cheap. Go get them embroidered. This is Max's from 10 years ago, maybe. You can see the older logo. And he's a little bigger than that now, but I found it in his closet this morning. But Andy, do you know any different growing up not wearing Team Bjorkman stuff? It was just what you did, right?
Yeah. And also, too, the tablecloths are really cool, too. I like doing that in open houses that are vacant. Set up a table, put the tablecloth on at Team Bjorkman. Almost every single person makes a comment. They're like, wow, you're actually making an effort to set it up, and it looks really official.
Yeah, everywhere. So you don't have to be geeky. Andy, how many of your friends wear these around town?
A lot of them.
Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of these I've given away. They freaking say Bjorkman on them, right? People are like tripping. They're like, what is that? What is that? I don't know. It's cool. Wear it. These things. This is the exact logo that I stole from Eliminator in 2002. Eliminator boats. Used to say Eliminator boats. Like the SCV leasing logo. I just stole it. I thought it was kind of cool. I bought one of their shirts. I'm like, that's stupid. I should make one. These are my everyday shirts I wear around. I mean, they're dirty or wrinkled from being in this bag. But you guys, there's no reason why you should wear other people's clothes. I mean, wear your own stuff. And the girls get the nice fancy t-shirts that are more like the girls' stuff. My wife's not allowed to leave the house to go to Paseo or any of her gyms without her Lululemon stuff on
this whole time because I want it.
No, I just took it out of her closet.
Oh, you always have it here.
Well, because it's bright. And she's got a million of these things. So she goes to the gym. So when you go to the gym every single day, somebody eventually is going to ask you if you sell real estate, right? And that's it. So it's just part of our family rules, I guess, that we're always marketing, because I can't tell you how many times I'm wearing a Team Bjorkman jacket or a jacket like this at a football game, and people come up and go, is that your company? Is that what you do? Yeah. Oh, I need to rent out my house. I need to buy a house. I need to sell a house. I've seen that. I know that. It's just branding, you guys. And you think like, oh, Mike gets all these sales. They just fall on his lap. No. Can you guys start to see what I've done and how I've positioned myself over the years? It's a lot of work, it's a lot of time, it's a lot of energy, but that's what you do to be successful and create a brand. You have to do things that other agents can't right? So, and I don't even go that big with all that stuff. It's just part of the business. So let's get into more. Any questions about that?
Great presentation.
Oh, thanks, buddy.
Could you put some of those vendors?
Yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah. Did we lose the battery? Awesome.
You want one?
I got it. Oh yeah, the battery's good. My favorite thing to do is just kiss Joe's butt. Be super nice to him because he's always so backed up and busy. But I buy crap whenever I see something I like. I'm like, oh, gonna embroider that, or go through my closet. Like we go to Steinmart. Steinmart's got the best polo shirts for men. Tomorrow when I go golf, 8:39, John.
9:40.
So I'll have a Team Bjorkman polo shirt on, and the dudes at the club, I mean, they just know me for branding, and they go, oh man. A funny story, one year I went and got hundreds of SCV leasing balls, and I just started throwing them all over the course, and like just on the sides. And these guys are like, let's teach them a lesson. So I came back from a holiday weekend, and I opened up my locker and all the SCV. But it's cool because those dudes videotaped it, and they freaking put it all over their social media. And then the next day I came, and they were all sitting on the bar in a big vase, like where you put flowers. And people had said, grab one, and people were just grabbing them. They were nice balls. So it's just branding, little things that you can think of like that. All right, let's get into some of the bigger and better branding. So you'll see that tonight, hi Amanda, tonight Julie has the backdrops for our stuff that she just had made that I haven't even got to see yet, that I'm all excited to see. So there was a time when I was doing a rebrand for Santa Clarita Real Estate and Team Bjorkman. I was doing some, I don't need to get into it, but I was doing some brands. I had 2 moving vans at the time. You can see Tamar on the moving van with me and Wendy and Julie. And then there's, you can see the SCV leasing vans. Our maintenance van, we had the moving van. And you can't really see that says Santa Clarita Community Service Vehicle. And then it says for churches, chambers, and charity, it's free. So the moving vans and the vans are rolling billboards. You guys know what it costs to have a billboard out here for a nice one? $3,000 a month.
Wow.
With a 2 to 3 year contract. That's a lot of dough, right?
It is.
That SCV leasing van, I had Andy spray paint the wheels. We got it wrapped for $2,000. I bought the van for like $6,000.
Really?
We had it forever. So it was paid for in 3 months in my eyes. And people say, God, dude, how big is this company? I see your vans everywhere. Branding, like, you know, they started trusting our company. I'm like, yeah, it's just maintenance division. You know, we got the vans rolling all over. Of course, there's one. But the charity events, I didn't want 2 moving vans because 1 moving van is a lot of work. But I'm like, dude, I got to brand a second company, right? If I knew the moving van worked so good for Team Bjorkman, am I going to use it for SCV leasing?
Yes.
I had to. I had no choice, right? It was that powerful branding. Every single event I go to, I walk up to the CEO, the owner, the this, the that, and I say, hi, I'm Mike Bjorkman, if I didn't already know them. I have a moving van at your disposal. I am set up to anything you guys need for your auctions, da-da-da-da-da. The only thing I ask is maybe I can get a little table at your event. And people would be like, heck yeah. So there was a time, right, Andy, we were using these vans all day, every day. I was exhausted. I was just like, oh my God, but they worked so good. Every single golf tournament, everything I ever go to, our vans are sitting out in front. And people are like, hey dude, I saw your van, how's business, da-da-da-da. And then, you know, your competition walks in and they're, stupid Mike's here. Yeah, but it was cool. I mean, it's really cool. I could stand up here for at least an hour and tell you all the different things about wrapping and how to use utility vehicles. They are the most highly used, highly effective, best ROI ever. So what I wanted to point out is you might see this, like see that's Andy when he was little on his quad. That was probably back in 2000, something like that. You can see the Remax logo. That poor van's been wrapped like 6 times. But that would be for social media, right? Oh, there's my kid on his quad, how cute, father and son bonding. Bullshit, I'm branding that for That's true. That's sorry, did that come out again? But that's the reality of it. The SCV, that photograph right there, actually somebody else posted it on Facebook and said, hey, I spotted Mike's van, da-da-da. So anything you could do, people are using it in social media. Like it was just used for a couple charity events, and now what they say is, can I use your van? I say, absolutely, I only require one thing, which is
And have a table.
post it. Thank
post
me
it.
properly in front of the public. Oh, Mike's so sweet. He lets us use our van. We'd be up a creek without him. Da 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 da. And then if I know it's at an event, I'll text him, say, dude, where's my post? Business is business, right? I'm trying to make it a win-win. I want to help your charity, but you got to help me brand too. Does anybody think I'm a jerk for thinking like that?
No.
Okay, I know there might be a couple of you, but I don't care. That's just the way it is. And I don't know why Max and Andy, because they're wearing Team Bjorkman shirts in Costa Rica. So, no joke, they wrote Team Bjorkman in the sand in Costa Rica, and they're both wearing Team Bjorkman shirts. Did they want to wear those shirts?
Yeah.
No. Does Dad say you're not getting anything unless you wear those shirts? Because we're going to go take a Facebook picture on the beach in Costa Rica, aren't we?
Yeah.
That's how that works. You guys getting it? Yep. Branding. All right. So there's more to the vans. This is the 4th of July parade where the girls used it in the Heart Cheer. They hooked up my buddy's boat to it. He's an Allstate agent, obviously. He's got his strap and banner, which I didn't approve on my van. How many people go to the 4th of July parade? You guys have any idea? A couple thousand. Thousands. So here's Team Bjorkman going in front of, hey, you see that logo? Came off my shirt, right? That's how much I like that shirt. So that is huge when you can roll through with a floating billboard this big. The floats in our goofy little Santa Clarita parade are not as big as my moving van, right? So guess what? People are posting, people are texting, people are like, hey, I saw your van. Who was that? What's going on? Thousands of people. There's going to be hundreds of people that sticks in their brain cells. Yeah? You like that idea? Anybody can do it. There's more Facebook crap. Look at the poor kids. These poor kids have grown up like you have no idea. Our dogs and our kids, I'll walk in the house, the dogs will just pose. Hey, post it. But that's what people like. Oh, there's even Johnny at a golf tournament. See? Look at that. We're at the golf tournament at
That was at
TPC.
Yep.
That's the Chamber Golf Tournament, right?
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Yeah, which we have another one coming October 23rd. And we're going to have our big hole there. The vans will be there. We set up the tablecloths. We set up all the giveaways. We set up everything. And that's a huge part of our branding. People know us when they go. They're like, oh, it's them. They know shots are going to start flying and all kinds of fun and hot chicks and all kinds of stuff. But let me take it further and really show you the impact of this. Here's the moving van full of pumpkins. Thousands or hundreds of pumpkins for the less fortunate kids in our community. That's fun. Giving pumpkins for free to little kids and watching their eyes tear because they've never had a pumpkin is cool, right? You know what's even cooler is SCV TV filming me do it. Win-win, right? It's cool. Where do I get the pumpkins? My next door neighbor has a pumpkin farm. It's for charity. How much were those pumpkins? Okay? So we use our relationships that we've built and we do a lot of cool things. What else is up there? The blanket drives, the clothing drives. This is farming material, you guys. You drop off those notepads with flyer in it we're talking about saying we're going to be back next Tuesday and Wednesday. Please leave a bag of clothes or blankets for charity. They leave them on their porch. They see the van rolling through their neighborhood picking up bags. You don't look like a jerk door knocker. You look like somebody helping your community. Do you agree?
Yes.
Yeah.
How much is one of those trucks?
I bought that truck for $7,600 in 2003, I think. And I've wrapped it for $2,000 4 times. It's probably made me 100 sales, gave me complete name recognition throughout our community. It's the best advertising in the world. It just is. It is the number one way to get your brand out there. So you can see your brain is probably rolling right now going, oh, I could do this with my kids, that, I could do that, I could do this, I could do that, I could do this. And don't say, I don't want a van because we already have one in our company. Every one of you should go buy a van and use the crap out of it. Because there's times where I go, I'm sorry, it's being used, or I'm sorry, I'm out of town, I don't have anybody to deal with it. There's enough crud going on in this town to where 10 vans could be out at one time. And I would love to have them say whom smart on them all, right? I mean, this is if you guys really say what's the number one thing that was, the best ROI, you're looking at it. Do we spend enough time on the vans? You got the idea? All right. So don't be afraid to look awesome. Success breeds success. Have you guys ever heard that?
Yeah.
This is where people say, Mike, you're a dork, but I don't care. Because who do I want to deal with?
Success.
People that can afford to buy and sell homes, and people that can afford to buy and rent out homes, right? And buy investment properties, all that stuff. So whenever I'm doing something cool, it's gonna be on social media. Because then when you're at an event, the cool kids hang out together. The cool kids talk to each other. Mike, I saw you were in a helicopter on a glacier. Which one was that? Oh, that was so-and-so glacier. Last year the wife and I did this one. Oh, we should go on a cruise next year together. Yeah, by the way, where you live? Ford, family, occupation, recreation, dreams. Flies out of my mouth, right? Gives people a reason to talk. If I was sitting on the Ventura Harbor or on a glacier, who's gonna talk to me more about which one, right? That's why I post these things. I'm in limos. I went to the Grammys. I sat with celebrities. It was posted everywhere. People say, oh, I saw you with LL Cool J. Oh, I saw you with Mariah Carey. I saw you with da-da-da-da-da. Why were you there? What were you doing? It was a charity event. I was raising money to help people. Oh my God, you're so nice. Da-da-da. Wait, great. Where you live? Right? Cool things. You're flying around in first class. People go, oh, damn. He wouldn't be doing that if he sucked. People that suck don't do this stuff. Do we agree with that?
Amen.
Okay, so is it okay to reward yourself and be awesome?
Oh, yes.
Let people know how awesome you are. Because if you believe you're awesome and have that confidence, other people will believe you're that awesome too. Hopefully it's getting in your head like that. Hang out and look like celebrities. I do all kinds of stuff with celebrities. Like, that's Robert Allen, the #1 real estate author ever. I was at a mastermind at his house in Carlsbad. We went through 4 guarded gates to get to his house. I mean, ridiculous. My next door neighbor, Kelly Packard from Baywatch. If I have a TV show, do you think I'm going to invite her on there and exploit the crap out of her? Right? So here's her actual bathing suit, and she gives it to me as recognition for all my community efforts on TV. Do you think I got a lot of play on that in social media? She posted that on her social media. When celebrities post crap, do they look at it? Yes. So there's me with John Assaraf. Do you guys know who that is?
Yeah.
One of the authors of The Secret. I'm hanging out with John Assaraf. Do you think I'm not going to post that? Do you think I just totally went out of my way all night to hunt this guy down? He's like, who are you and why are you just, here, find me.
You're stalking me.
Right. So there's Tammy and I on our show. If you guys remember our show that we stopped last year, we always promoted that. We talked about real estate. I was the guy that gave real estate tips. If you're the person of authority speaking again, now it's on live TV, is that creating and supporting a brand?
Yes.
When I had the chance to meet Tammy at a Boys and Girls Club auction, again, being at an event, it all happened. Tammy was working for SCV TV. You guys know who Tammy is, my business partner now. But she's like, oh, I'd love to have you come on the show one time and talk about real estate. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. So I weaseled my way in. I'm like, hey, Tam, did you like that? Yeah, maybe we should do it every week. Well, I can't do it every week, Mike, but how about every other? Okay. Next thing you know, I'm co-hosting it, right? I'm always working the angle, getting bigger and better and getting my way to the top. It has to be that way or you're never going to do it. Now, everywhere I go to this day, people are like, oh, you're the dude on TV. Well, no, I'm the realtor. But still, you're on TV. Yeah, okay. But that's cool. And then those are on our YouTube channel, and those are branded everywhere. It's a big deal. There's me on the news, right? That's the Channel 5 News. Bring your realtor to work day. Chris Schaubel, who you guys all know from Channel 5, came to my charity event at my house to MC it. He raffled or auctioned off a bring your buddy to work day at the thing. I'm going, I'm going to be on Channel 5 News. Okay, I don't care how much that was. I think I got it for $1,200. I went down, I got to bond with Chris. He's actually a great friend, refers me to lots of people now. I got to go on the news. When I turned my phone on after that, guess how many text messages I had? I couldn't even, I don't even think I went through them all. It was crazy. I was like, that is powerful. It's all part of branding. But if I never would have went to this event, that would have never led to this event, so that would have never got me involved in that charity, which I would have never met Chris, I never would have been on the news. It's a process. It's a branding process, and everything is totally calculated. And you guys probably heard me talk about this before. One time I was in Seattle, and that Michael Hellickson was the #1 real estate agent in the country. Yes, I'm going to hunt down his house and go take a picture in front of it. So he wasn't even there. I'm in front of his house, tagging him on Facebook. We're having fun, back and forth. I'm in front of your mansion, dude. Da, 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 da. He loved it because I was promoting him. I loved it because I was being able to be promoted because of him. at the time to sit there with the #1 realtor, and that's at the time when I was selling packages of school to realtors. So that was my audience. How do I get in front of realtors? So remember I said I had to have a national brand? That was one of the ways I was doing it. So again, making sense?
Yes.
It looks like I've had a cool life, right? I mean, it's just perception. So this is a lot of media stuff too, and there was my 40 under 40, and we really did that. That's my buddy Bob Hellman and I at a Playboy Mansion party. So we got involved with Karma. I wanted to have a little bit bigger reach for charity, so we got involved with Karma. And I don't mind going to Playboy parties and the Maxim Halloween party, getting to meet Hugh Hefner, God rest his soul. Yeah, so all these things. You know, being on the front of the magazine probably 20 times doesn't suck, right? So instead of buying a couple tickets to Dancing with the Stars, I sponsor Dancing with the Stars. Front row center, bless you, at the VIP party, in my Team Bjorkman shirt, rolling around with all the celebrities, the judges, all that stuff, building better brands, getting bigger recognition. There's us at the Disney Ranch. We sponsored one of the charity events there, my Team Bjorkman cowboy thing. I'm like, I'm not going to dress like a cowboy and not brand Team Bjorkman, right? So I wear that shirt everywhere. Every time there's a cowboy thing, I got one hat, one shirt, I put it on, and everybody loves it. Sir Optimus Fashion Show. My wife's like, can we go? I'm like, no, we're not going to go. We're going to sponsor it. Look, there's my wife and all the HomeSmart girls when we first opened on stage in front of hundreds of people, you know, making a big deal. We're on the front of the magazine again. Here I am with our, you know, Vanessa Wilk, your mom, and all that stuff. And then Dr. Lackey from the show, the Beverly Hills, a really famous plastic surgeon. I did a show with him. He did live Botox on us. My phone blew up. Oh my God, is he as cool as he thought? Da, 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 da. And, I mean, just little things can make big impacts. So when some people say, how do you get these celebrity clients? How do you get the luxury property? This is the crap you got to do to do it. Build a brand. More? I think we're almost done. Okay, so now we got to get into goofy marketing for real estate, because now they got to remember you're a real estate agent too. Because at some point you're like, I don't know what you do. You're just like a socialite, you know. I don't know what the hell you do. But you got to be consistent with your branding as far as being fun. So create a big branding, consistent, fun, and always try to have the unique selling proposition. Our postcards are very consistent. They look the same every time. Same people get them. Your home sold in 90 days or we'll sell it for free. You sitting there don't think that's a big deal. You've seen it hundreds of times, but the public hasn't. They're like, whoa. So when I go to an event, I go out on the streets, they're like, you're gonna sell my house in 90 days or it's free? Yes, I promise that. Whoa, tell me more about that. Why, are you planning to move? Maybe. Come over here, let's talk about it. Right? People remember that stuff. That marketing thing. How many realtors have you seen do a marketing ad like that says marketing 100 times? So if I'm thinking of selling my house and I'm looking for somebody that's not just some cocky realtor, but that actually specializes in marketing, that stands out, right? It does. A lot of those ads I get from bartering too, using the moving van, sponsoring things, always using the angle to get those. The other one too, this is my favorite one. It's all Bjorkman, high price, marketing, sell, buyers. It had all these real estate terms in it. But when Brianne DeMac did that, she thought she'd screw with me, put her name in, Brianne, I love my marketing girl, 69. I'm like, things that I didn't even see, right? Just crazy stuff. But it was fun because we got to run ads on Facebook and say, how many words are here? Can you find words that aren't circled? And how many words are circled? Things like that. We regurgitated this full page ad that was in SCV magazine probably 20 times on Facebook and did all different kinds of contests with it and blew it up outside, like so far outside the box than other realtors were doing. Again, reinforcing that brand. God dang that guy. He's always doing something other agents can't do.
Won't.
Okay. And then we have to use social media for the kill for like reels. This is everything you do all comes back on social media, and I've talked about this through the whole thing, but this is impossible not to do. When you start getting social media play on Facebook, the algorithms start to like you. We're talking 4,000 views. I still had $220,000 or $220 left on a boost on that one.
It's 12 o'clock.
4,500 people, and just little things like this, like So we really owe our friends at Red Bull a huge thank you for the ultimate VIP experience. These guys never stop with the love, and it goes both ways. Thanks, homies. So let me explain that. I just bought the VIP tickets and made it look a little different, right? I didn't lie, they were cool, it was a good VIP experience. But it made it look like I was like friends with the owners of Red Bull, things like that. I don't know why, I just put here steak and fire, it was kind of an interesting thing. 132 likes, but you gotta mix it up and have some balance, right? Friends, family, dogs. Again, the kids, player of the week, kind of cool things, brag about your family a little. But also in there is houses. So if you create that balance of houses, fun, branding, and just keep that current balance moving, now you have this well-rounded brand. And people are like, that is a realtor that I want to work with. Charity, fun, successful, hangs out with celebs, all the cool things. Bless you. If you don't like it, just say bullshit. All right, what do you guys think? Do we want to start a cool brand? And as your coach and mentor, I'm always here to help brainstorm with you.